Hey guys, thanks for checking out Euclid Mining, and welcome to my first ever video on my test bench. This is a little one that I put together, just something that I could put a card onto and mess around with it while I didn't have to shut down this 2 GPU rig while it was mining. If I just wanted to come in here and just fool around with a card or two, I could have something separate. So it is no frills, but you know what? It's exactly what I want. It's in the future I may change the board out or something like this, but ultimately I prefer the way it is here, and I'll show you, throw a picture up here for you so you can see it. But anyway, when I woke up this morning, the 2 GPU rig that I usually do my recording on, I came in and noticed that it had had a problem last night. So I restarted it, and one of the cards wasn't coming up. Now, I've talked about those cards before, and one of them gets like, 28, 29 mega hash, and the other one only gets about 24 and a half. And I was like, yeah, I guess that one finally, because it's always given me trouble. It worked well when I first got it for the first 2 months, and then all of a sudden one day I moved it from one rig to another, and it just was at 24, 25, and it never ever could get any better than that. It's the temperatures on it are cool. It's not. I don't think that it's a thermal problem, but then again, you know what? I should maybe change it one day and just try that anyway, just for the hell of it, because I haven't done that yet either. But anyway, the one card that went out was the good card, the one that was really moving along. So definitely concerned, and I've never had a card go down on me like this. One that I've been using for a while. I've bought a lot of cards and gotten them, and they just hadn't worked or had problems, but this did work just fine. So last night something happened. Anyway, I got it over here, and I started just this particular board that I'm using has onboard video, so I'm able to bring this up, and as you see, it does report in here. So I thought, well, what can I do to test this? Because to be honest, I haven't. So what I did was, first off, I brought it up in GPUs, and just to see if I could even see it in here, because it did come up here, and I was like, all right, well, let me look at it here. So so it did come up, and then the next thing I thought I would do was going to be to try the patcher and say, well, let me try that and see if that makes any changes. So I just ran the patcher, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna run a video on this, and we're just gonna mess around with this, because like I said, it's the first time I've had to do this. It's the first GPU to be really to be tested on this, so I figured, welcome to the party. So here we are. So it did it, and it did find that it needed to be patched. So okay, so I say okay to that. I ran this, and then it came up. Now if I ran it again, it would say there's nothing to be patched, so I don't need to. But I just did that, and what I wanted to do is, normally after I do that, I reboot one time, and sometimes when I get this error with the card, it automatically finds itself again, and it's fine. So I'm gonna stop the video here. I'm gonna reboot, and then I'm gonna plug into it. We're gonna see if we get a pulse. That would be kind of crazy. So I'll be back in a minute. Hey guys, I'm back, and I rebooted. We're up and running, and what I did was I took the cable for the monitor out of the onboard video, and I plugged it into the GPU, and that's what we're seeing right now. It came back. I could say my only regret is that I didn't take a picture of the error on the screen this morning. It was like 6:30 in the morning, and I was just on autopilot. There's a problem. First thing you do is reboot. And I just clicked it. And I should have read it more carefully, and I didn't. And I'm sorry that I can't bring that to you to give you more information. What an amazing opportunity it would have been to learn more about these things. And to bring you only half of the video, all I can tell you is that I've never had that error. I changed risers, I changed the USB, I changed the whole setup, I changed power cords, I did everything. The fans would spin, the lights come on, everything would work, but I would have no video in any of the ports. So that's when I thought, something, because a lot of times you'll see people trying to sell a card, it says fans spin, lights come on, but you get nothing out of it. And I'm thinking, there it is. This is one of those eBay things you see all the time, So I took it, And of course I was excited to use the test bed, not excited that it was this card. If it could have been the other card that was dead, would have been a little better. But so I brought it over here, hooked it up, and when I started looking at the different things I use on this test bed, and it's just brand new, it's the first time I'm really using it. Right now I've just been fooling around doing a old Half-Life map. I recreated my parents' house in Half-Life. So I came into this here and I just grabbed the tools and I thought, okay, which would be the, well, first I came up, I looked in the device manager and it showed up here. Then I brought it up in GPUs and GPUs showed it reporting in. So I thought, okay, out of the last three tools, the editor, the patcher, or to reflash the BIOS, I thought, you know what, the patcher. So I ran the patcher, and I'm running it here for you just to show you what it looks like. It would say patch, patch, patch all the way down, that it needed to be patched. I clicked yes, and then that little box popped up, and that's when I started recording with you. So you saw that box popped up that it was done, and then all I did was just close out everything and reboot and came back to you here. So it was interesting because I've never had it happen like that. Usually it's just a simple reboot of some sort, and it happens so infrequently. I mean, so infrequently that I don't even remember the last time I actually had to do it, but I know I have done it a couple times over almost the past year. So, but never with this severity where, I, started panic that I just lost, $350, $400 card. So, but I don't know yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm unhook it here. I'm going to shut this down and unhook this. I'm going to bring it back over here. I'm going to plug it up. And I'm going to try and start mining. I'll bring that video up on this side and we'll see what happens. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm back and here's what happened. So I loaded it up. It still didn't work. And I thought, okay, maybe it's the board. So, maybe there's something wrong with it. So I took the one card that I knew that was working and I moved it into each slot, rebooted it. I didn't want to keep recording and pausing. I didn't think you need to see me do that. So all the slots were working. So I figured, okay, the board probably isn't the problem. I changed the power, thought, okay, maybe there's something wrong with the power supply, something like this. This was not the problem. So I was trying to really just eliminate everything over here. And it seemed like I had eliminated all the possibilities: risers, connections, USBs, power, slots on the board, everything in between. I even checked the settings on the board. Perhaps something was a glitch with that. Everything looked like it was still the way it was. Everything looked fine. So I've learned my lesson from before, not to say, okay, it's not that, because it still could be something that I overlooked, but I'm thinking it's probably not this. So I went ahead and I decided to start the software up and for the AMD software, and it wouldn't start up. It said it wasn't finding the drivers. So I said, okay, well, let me reinstall the software. So I came over here, went to select the cards that that I have, which is the 400, and it was the 480. And I clicked submit, and I downloaded the full drivers. When I reinstalled the drivers, I went ahead. I think I got that a little high, something like that. So I reinstalled the drivers, and when I reinstalled them, though, I clicked factory reset. Now, there is another way to do that. There is other software that will completely remove all the drivers. If you just try to uninstall your software drivers, it doesn't do a full uninstallation of them. So there is software that you can use that will just completely remove that. It escapes me off the top of my head, but I will look it up, and I'll put a link in the description below. And you can completely remove it. Now, I did the option when I installed it to restore it to factory, and I didn't keep any of the settings. I just did everything factory. I did the full installation, and then I tried it again. Still wasn't coming up. I looked in the software came up, it was fine. I rebooted again, and then when I tried to start the patcher, I'm going to bring it up again, bring these over here. I started the patcher again, and it said it wasn't finding the drivers. So I was like, okay, so what's that problem now? So I rebooted again and tried it again. It still didn't work. So what I did was I went ahead and downloaded the latest one. So if you see in my folder now, I have the old one and the new one. So I downloaded the new one and I tried it. It did find it. It did say that it needed to be patched because I guess go back a second. When I looked in the device manager, it still had the X on it and the other card was still fine. And that's where that's all when I saw that. So new drivers, downloaded the new Pixel Patcher, ran the new one, rebooted again, and it started up. And here we are. So that was it. It was just a combination of things. You know, the card itself is not down. Right now, I am going to go ahead and try to start mining. So let's start Afterburner. And all right, so let's go here, Team Red Miner, and let's start mining and see if the cards. So the Windows protection jumped up, so I click that and click run anyway. Yes. Let's see, it's kind of glitched out here a little bit. Let me start the AMD software again and make sure that both of them are coming up. I'll drag that over here so you can see that, and does show them both now. That's good. So if you come over here, click settings, then go to graphics, advanced, scroll down, and you're looking for this one right here, GPU workload. So this has changed a little bit since the last version that I downloaded, so it has been a little while and it was probably overdue to get this. It was on graphics. I changed it to compute, so that's what I needed to do there. The next one is GPU 2, and scroll down again, and it's on graphics. I need to change that to compute. Click OK. It's going to take a second. I don't know if I'm lagging out in the video. Okay, so that was, I guess, a little more stress for recording than could handle, so it probably lagged out somewhere in there. I did go ahead and enable compute on the second GPU, and did a quick reboot on it anyway, just to make sure everything was good to go. And I got Afterburner running, so let me start up the miner, and let's see if we can get a pulse. Looks like GPU 1 and 2, it's starting up. I'm going to close all this. I might get a little laggy in the camera because mining and recording don't mix. Yeah, there's the thing that says my video may be laggy. So we're just going to see if this comes up to speed. And I am recording, so it's probably going to be a little bit lower. But let's just see what happens here. It looks like everything's coming back to life. So quite a little bit of back and forth with some different software. It wasn't hardware related, I don't think. And there it is, 29.06. Now the other one is down, and that's because the miner will drag that down. Not to mention that's the card that, you know, always gives me trouble. It gets up to like 26.5, you know, 26.7, but that's about max, no matter what I do to it. So that one I might try to do pads on it and just see if that made a difference. Like I said, the temperature is, you know, not bad, even when it's full on mining. So anyway, y'all, that was just a little, it's my day off today, and I woke up to this, and this is what I started messing around with. So, you know, is it helpful? I don't know, maybe. I am so sorry I didn't take a picture of that screen. It might have been driver related, and that was causing problems for the actual software there, but reinstalled it. Like I said, got the new Pixel Patcher, which will be all links down below. So if you have troubles like this is just a little troubleshooting video. So anyway, subscribe so you can see more craziness sometimes, and thumbs up, and of course comments if you've had any problems and what you've done to resolve them, if they're any different than what we did today with just software based. Is there any other software that you use, any links that you want to send out to all of us so anybody can check them out? I appreciate it. So anyway, thanks for checking in. I'll see y'all next time.